Recognizing narcissism is the first step in freeing yourself from its grasp. Narcissists often use subtle tactics like gaslighting, manipulation, and playing the victim to control others. Their behavior is often hard to spot until it's too late, but once you identify the signs, like a constant need for admiration or a lack of empathy, you can protect yourself and reclaim your emotional power. In this section, we'll explore how to recognize these toxic behaviors early. Recognizing narcissism is the first essential step toward protecting yourself from its damage. Narcissists have a unique way of controlling people, quietly and subtly, without raising alarm. They are experts at manipulation, often using tactics like gaslighting to create confusion, undermine your confidence, and keep you emotionally dependent on them. Narcissists know how to twist reality to suit their needs, making you doubt your own perceptions and emotions. It's often difficult to realize that you've been manipulated, as the narcissist usually operates behind the scenes, making the situation seem like your fault. The first sign of narcissistic manipulation is gaslighting. This is a form of psychological abuse in which the narcissist denies your reality or memory of events to make you question your own perceptions. They might say things like, "That never happened," or "You're imagining things." Over time, this erodes your self-trust, leaving you vulnerable to their control. To counteract gaslighting, it's essential to trust your instincts and keep a clear record of conversations and events. If the narcissist tries to distort facts or make you feel like you're overreacting, remind yourself that their intention is to confuse and dominate you. By being confident in your recollection and setting boundaries, you can protect yourself from their attempts to manipulate your mind. Another tactic narcissists often use is playing the victim. They may portray themselves as the one who is always wronged, creating a narrative where they are helpless and in need of constant attention and support. This emotional exploitation puts you in a caretaker role, where your energy is drained by their perceived neediness. In such situations, narcissists will demand empathy and care while providing nothing in return. To avoid falling into this trap, it's crucial to remain detached and recognize that their victimhood is often a facade designed to extract emotional resources from you. At the core of their manipulation lies their insatiable need for admiration. Narcissists require constant validation and praise, often to the point of demanding it from everyone around them. In relationships, they make their partner or friends feel obligated to constantly reassure them of their worth. Any form of criticism, even constructive feedback, is met with defensive aggression. Narcissists are never satisfied, and their appetite for attention only grows stronger the more you feed it. Recognizing this pattern early on can help you maintain a healthy distance. Instead of fueling their ego, you should focus on your own self-worth, setting clear emotional boundaries that don't cater to their endless need for approval. Lastly, narcissists lack true empathy. While they may pretend to care, they are largely indifferent to the feelings of others. They view people as tools to meet their needs rather than individuals with their own feelings and experiences. A narcissist may act charming and sweet at the beginning of a relationship to win you over, but once they have your trust, they may show little to no regard for your emotional needs. The more you invest in them emotionally, the less they will reciprocate. By understanding this emotional void, you can stop expecting them to change and start focusing on your own emotional growth. When you recognize these patterns, you begin to reclaim control over your own emotions and life. Narcissists thrive on confusion and doubt, but when you identify their behavior, you can resist being manipulated. You don't need to engage in their games. Instead, you can choose to walk away from toxic situations and set clear boundaries that prevent further harm. When dealing with narcissists, it's crucial to understand that their actions stem from a deep need for control. At their core, narcissists crave power over others, whether it's emotional control, social control, or intellectual control. They need to be the ones who dictate the flow of interactions, the ones who are always in charge of the narrative. This desire for control drives much of their behavior, and it's often what keeps you trapped in their web. To free yourself, you need to understand how this need manifests in their daily lives and interactions. One of the most significant tactics narcissists use to maintain control is manipulation. They will often engage in emotional manipulation to get their way, whether it's through guilt-tripping, making you feel responsible for their happiness, or using your vulnerabilities against you. Narcissists are master manipulators. They know how to twist words, distort facts, and exploit your emotions to create a sense of dependency. This is the emotional puppeteer at work. The more they can manipulate your feelings, the more control they have over you. The first step in breaking free from their control is to recognize these manipulative behaviors. Narcissists often use subtle tactics that are hard to spot at first. For example, they might make small comments that undermine your confidence or play on your insecurities. Over time, these comments chip away at your self-esteem, making you question your worth. This is intentional. It creates a power imbalance where the narcissist feels superior and you feel inferior. But by becoming aware of these patterns, you can stop internalizing these negative beliefs and regain your emotional independence. Another common tactic narcissists use is isolating their targets from support networks. Whether it's friends, family, or colleagues, narcissists will subtly encourage you to distance yourself from those who might challenge their authority or influence. This isolation makes you more reliant on them, reinforcing their control over you. They may play the victim card, claiming that others don't understand them or that people are jealous of your relationship. The goal is to make you feel like they are the only one who truly understands you, further solidifying their position as the emotional center of your life. To protect yourself, you need to build strong boundaries. Narcissists thrive on your inability to set limits, so it's crucial to become assertive and unwavering in your responses. If you allow them to continually push your boundaries, they'll see it as an invitation to take even more control. Start by recognizing your own needs and desires, and don't be afraid to express them clearly and confidently. Establishing firm boundaries is one of the most effective ways to regain control over your life and stop the narcissist from dictating your emotional reality. Narcissists often employ fear as a tool of control as well. They may use threats or intimidation to keep you in line, making you fear the consequences of disagreeing or standing up for yourself. This fear can paralyze you, making you feel as though you're walking on eggshells, afraid of provoking their wrath. However, the more you learn to confront and manage this fear, the more power you regain. Narcissists rely on this fear to keep you submissive and compliant, so when you stop reacting to their threats, their power begins to diminish. One of the most effective ways to deal with a narcissist's need for control is to stop engaging in their power struggles. Narcissists often try to create drama or escalate conflicts as a way of maintaining dominance. They thrive in chaos and enjoy controlling the narrative. If you refuse to participate in these emotional power games, they will eventually lose interest and seek someone else to manipulate. By remaining calm, composed, and disengaged from their drama, you show them that their control tactics are ineffective. Ultimately, the key to breaking free from a narcissist's emotional puppetry is to reclaim your personal power. Narcissists only have control over you if you allow it. By understanding their tactics and actively resisting their attempts to manipulate and control, you can take back your autonomy. This requires self-awareness, emotional strength, and a willingness to prioritize your own needs over the narcissist's desires. In conclusion, narcissists crave control in every aspect of their lives. They use manipulation, isolation, and fear to maintain dominance over others. However, by recognizing these tactics and setting clear boundaries, you can begin to break free from their emotional grip. The more you disengage from their power struggles and stop participating in their drama, the less control they will have over you. Reclaiming your personal power is the first step toward emotional freedom and independence. Narcissists rely on their ability to control situations, relationships, and perceptions of themselves. But when you refuse to play their game, when you break free from their emotional manipulation, something unexpected happens. They lose control. This loss of control often results in a range of intense emotional reactions, from rage to confusion, and even to deep fear. Narcissists are terrified of losing the power they have over others, and when that power starts to slip away, they react in ways that can sometimes backfire and make them even more unpredictable. The first thing you'll notice when you stop playing into the narcissist's drama is their confusion. Narcissists are used to manipulating situations and getting the responses they want from others. When you stop reacting, they're left in a state of uncertainty, unable to predict your behavior. This disorientation is disarming for them. They thrive on predictability and control, and when their usual tactics no longer work, they start to lose their sense of self-assurance. They may try to escalate their efforts, using even more drastic manipulation, but this is usually a sign of their fear of losing control, not their strength. One of the most intense emotional reactions narcissists have when they feel their control slipping away is rage. Narcissists are extremely sensitive to criticism or perceived slights, and if you challenge their sense of superiority or independence, they may lash out in anger. This rage is not only a defense mechanism but also a way for them to try and reassert their dominance. They may attempt to manipulate you through threats, anger, or belittlement in an effort to regain the emotional control they're losing. However, their rage often backfires. Narcissists tend to overreact, and their outbursts can make them look irrational or weak to others. When you don't give them the emotional reaction they're seeking, their anger becomes futile. Instead of gaining control, they lose it, and their unpredictable behavior becomes a liability. Another unexpected consequence of a narcissist losing control is their sense of isolation. Narcissists often rely on their ability to charm and manipulate those around them to maintain their image of perfection. When their manipulation fails and their false persona starts to crack, they begin to lose their support network. People who were once under their influence may begin to see through their facade, and this realization can leave narcissists feeling vulnerable. This emotional isolation is something they dread, as it strips away their power and exposes their true self. In some cases, narcissists may even experience feelings of despair. Without the control they once had, they may feel lost and insecure, unable to cope with the fact that they are no longer the center of attention. They may become depressed, anxious, or even self-destructive, unable to handle the collapse of their carefully crafted world. This is particularly dangerous because it may lead them to lash out more violently, seeking to reassert control through drastic measures. The most important thing to remember when a narcissist loses control is that their reactions are not your responsibility. They are acting out of fear, insecurity, and desperation to maintain their dominance. As you continue to detach emotionally and set clear boundaries, you can maintain your own emotional stability and avoid getting dragged into their chaos. In conclusion, when you stop playing into the narcissist's control games, you force them into a state of fear and confusion. Their emotional reactions, whether it's rage, isolation, or despair, are a direct result of their inability to dominate you. By staying grounded and not engaging in their drama, you help weaken their influence and free yourself from their toxic grip. Their loss of control is an unexpected consequence that ultimately exposes their vulnerabilities and makes them less when you start refusing to play the narcissist's games. One of the most powerful outcomes is the exposure of their true nature. Narcissists are experts at maintaining a carefully crafted facade, pretending to be confident, powerful, and in control. But beneath this exterior lies a fragile ego, constantly afraid of being exposed for what they truly are: insecure, manipulative, and emotionally immature. The fear of exposure drives many of their behaviors, and when they feel threatened by the possibility of being unmasked, they react in ways that can often lead to their downfall. The first thing to understand about narcissists is that they cannot tolerate being seen for who they really are. They go to great lengths to project an image of superiority and invincibility, but deep down, they are afraid that others will see their weaknesses and flaws. This fear of exposure is a key vulnerability, and it's something that they will fiercely protect at all costs. If you've ever confronted a narcissist or pointed out their behavior, you may have seen how quickly they lash out in anger or attempt to deflect blame. This is because they fear that your observation will expose their true nature. One of the most effective ways to expose a narcissist is by showing their hypocrisy. Narcissists are notorious for saying one thing and doing another. They will often claim to have certain values or beliefs, but their actions will tell a different story. By pointing out their inconsistencies, without being confrontational, you can slowly chip away at their perfect image. They rely on their image to manipulate others, so when that image starts to crack, their power begins to diminish. However, it's important to recognize that exposing a narcissist can have consequences. Narcissists don't like being challenged or criticized, and if they feel threatened, they may respond with aggression or smear campaigns. They'll try to turn others against you, claiming that you are the problem, or they may use guilt and shame to make you question your intentions. This is a common tactic that narcissists use to deflect attention from their own flaws and project blame onto others. Despite these challenges, exposing a narcissist is often the only way to break their hold over you. When you refuse to back down and continue to speak the truth, you create a sense of disillusionment around them. People start to see through their manipulations and realize that they are not as perfect as they would like others to believe. This can lead to a loss of power and influence in their social circles, isolating them further and reducing their ability to control others. One of the key steps in exposing a narcissist is learning to detach emotionally. Narcissists rely on your emotional reactions to control the situation. When you stay calm, composed, and detached from their drama, they lose their ability to manipulate your feelings. This emotional detachment is essential for maintaining your own well-being and keeping the narcissist from drawing you back into their web of manipulation. Moreover, exposing a narcissist often requires support from others. Narcissists thrive in environments where they are allowed to operate without challenge. When you build a network of people who can see through their facade, you strengthen your position. It's not always easy to confront a narcissist on your own, especially if they are skilled at isolating you from others. But when you have a support system in place, you can collectively expose their behavior and put an end to their control. Ultimately, the fear of exposure is one of the most powerful tools you can use against a narcissist. By shining a light on their true nature and refusing to allow them to manipulate you, you strip them of their power. They no longer have the ability to control the narrative or dictate the way others see them. This exposure is often the beginning of the end for a narcissistic relationship, as it forces them to confront their own vulnerabilities. In conclusion, narcissists live in constant fear of exposure. Their entire existence is built on the need to appear flawless, powerful, and above reproach. But when their facade begins to crack, they react defensively, often with anger or manipulation. By recognizing this fear and taking steps to expose their true nature, you can reduce their control over you and others. Exposing a narcissist takes courage and emotional strength, but it's one of the most effective ways to regain your freedom and protect yourself from their toxic influence. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this video valuable, please give it a thumbs up, share it with someone who might benefit, and leave a comment below with your thoughts. I'd love to hear your perspective on what we discussed. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you never miss out on more empowering content like this. We've got plenty more videos to help you reclaim your power and transform your life, so be sure to check them out too. Let's keep growing and healing together.